Good morning to all you awesome people. I welcomes you all on our YouTube channel JPSC Simplified. Let's crack JPSC. So my dear friends, in the last lecture we have discussed paper 1, paper 2 and paper 3 syllabus as well as 2016 mains syllabus. Now in today's lecture we are going to discuss or analyze paper 4, paper 5 and paper 6 syllabus, as well as we will also look into the JPSC 6th mains paper of paper 4, paper 5 and paper 6. Okay. Now, coming to the paper 4, it is the paper of Indian Constitution and Polity, Public Administration and Good Governance. That is, this paper is divided into two sections. First, Indian Constitution and Polity, and second, Public Administration and Good Governance. Okay, Indian Constitution and Polity, it is again divided into two sections. Section 1, it is 10 objective type questions of 2 marks each, total 20 marks, and 4 subjective questions will be asked. Out of that, you have to answer 2 questions. Each question consisting of 40 marks. So total 2 into 40, that is 80 marks. So 100 marks will be from Indian Constitution and Polity, and similar will be the pattern for public administration and good governance. That is, it will have 10 objective type questions of 2 marks each, that is 20 marks, and 4 subjective questions, out of which you have to answer 2 questions, each consisting of 40 marks, that is 2 into 40 is equal to 80 marks. So total 100 marks for public administration and good governance also. Now we will see the topics in public administration and good governance as well as in Indian Constitution and Polity. So first we look into the Indian Constitution and Polity section. The first topic which is mentioned here is preamble of the Indian Constitution, secular, democratic and socialist, and philosophy behind it. So you have to basically analyze what is the history, what is the philosophy, how our preamble was created and all those things. The second topic is salient features of the Indian Constitution, concept of public interest litigation, basic structure of the Indian Constitution. Third topic is fundamental rights and duties. Fourth, directive principles of state policy. Fifth, union government, which consists of union executive, its powers and functions of president, vice president, prime minister, and the council of ministers functioning under a coalition government. Second is union legislature, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, organization and functions, law making process, parliamentary committees, parliament's control over executive, privileges and immunities of parliament and its members. Third is union judiciary, the Supreme Court, its role and powers, principles of natural justice and rule of law, judicial review and judicial activism. Next topic is from state government. It consists of the state executive, powers and functions of the governor, chief minister and council of ministers. B. State legislature, organization of state legislature, its powers and functions with special reference to Jharkhand. That you should remember, with special reference to Jharkhand. C. State judiciary, which consists of High Court, its organization, powers and functions, subordinate judiciary. Fourth, the panchayats and the municipalities, constitution, powers, functions and responsibilities with special reference to 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Acts. Next topic is center-state relationship, administrative, legislative and financial relationship you have to study, provisions relating to administration of scheduled areas and scheduled tribal areas, special provisions relating to reservation of seats for SC and ST in legislature, services, etc., emergency provision of the constitution, comptroller and auditor general, election commission, political parties and pressure groups. So this was all about Indian constitution and polity section. So very easy section. If you are going to refer Lakshmikant, most of the topics will be covered in that book. Okay. So, and you don't have to read the whole Lakshmikant for JPSC. You go through the topics which are mentioned in the syllabus. That will be more than enough. Okay. Now the second section is your public administration and good governance. Again, this will be of 100 marks. It consists of topic like public administration, its introduction, meaning, scope, and significance, public and private administration, union administration, general secretariat, cabinet secretariat, prime minister's office, planning commission, finance commission, state administration, state secretariat, chief secretary, chief minister's office, district administration, origin and development of the office of district magistrate and collector, changing role of the district collector, impact of the separation of judiciary on district administrations. Then personal administration, recruitment of civil services, Union Public Service Commission and State Public Service Commission, training of civil servants, leadership and its qualities, employees' morale and productivity. Delegation, centralization and decentralization of authority. Bureaucracy, origin, its merits and demerits, role of bureaucracy in policy formulation and its implementation, nexus between bureaucracy and political executive. So this is a very interesting topic which they have mentioned, and it is also very important topic, nexus between bureaucracy and political executive. Okay, generalist versus specialist, and these debates, it generally goes on in the media and in the civil services arena also, and this is also a matter of conflict between the IAS officers and your IES officer, ISS officers, IES officers, no, economic services officers, then also military personnel. So this topic also becomes very important for us. Okay, we should know about the nitty gritties of this topic, what should be done, that there should be a there should be specialist in your special departments, or the IAS and IPS officers should be posted in those departments which requires specialization. So yes, recently I think last year or last to last year, government brought lateral entry into the civil services, and that was a hot topic in the civil services arena. So this debate becomes very important for us. We should know what is the debate, what should be the nitty gritties, and what should be the way forward, and what do we think about this topic, and that would be asked to us only. Now the next topic would be development administration. Next, disaster management, its causes, meaning and classification of disaster, disaster mitigation, immediate and long-term resources, good governance, meaning and concept of good and responsive governance, main features of good governance, accountability, transparency, honesty and quick delivery, role of civil society and people, participation in governance, grievance redressal mechanism, Lokpal, Lokayukta, Central Vigilance Commissioner, Citizens Charter, its objective, machinery and measures provided in Right to Service Act, Right to Information Act, Right to Education Act, Consumer Protection Act, Domestic Violence Against Women Prevention Act, and Old Age Act. Okay. Now, human rights topic is also there. Its concept and meaning, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, National Human Rights Commission, State Human Rights Commission, human rights and social issues, human rights and terrorism. So this was all from public administration and good governance. Now let's look into the 2016 mains paper of Indian Constitution and Polity, as well as public administration and good governance. That is paper 4. See here, you can see it contained 200 marks. Time allotted was 3 hours. Again, it had two sections. Okay, two optional questions from each section, 10 objective type questions, each of 2 marks in each section, that I have explained to you, okay, a little earlier. So we come to the question. See, here we can see the objective type questions in Indian constitution and polity. So see, they ask very basic questions. The first question here you can see is that which of the following was inserted in the preamble of the Constitution of India through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. So if you have read the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, you very well know that sovereignty, this was in the original constitution, so it was not inserted by an amendment. Dignity of person, this also not. Socialist and secular, yes, socialist and secular word, it was inserted by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, okay. And privacy is not mentioned in the constitution, okay, but it is interpreted in the through the principles of our constitution. So the right answer should be C. Very easy question. See, second question, the fundamental duties are provided in which of the part of constitution? So we know that in part 4a of the constitution, fundamental duties are present. Earlier, fundamental duties was not there in the original constitution, but later it was inserted, okay. Now consider, next question is consider the following and identify the correct composition of Indian Parliament. So this is very easy question, okay. So Indian Parliament consists of President, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, okay. Now here, under which of the following article of Constitution of India the Supreme Court is empowered to issue different writs for the enforcement of fundamental rights of citizens? Supreme Court. See, writ power of Supreme Court it is asked. So we know that article number 32. Article number 32 gives Supreme Court the power to issue writs, and article number 226 gives the High Court to issue different type of writs. So in the comment section you write whose writ powers are broad, the Supreme Courts or the High Courts. That you should answer me in the comment section. Okay. Now the next question is who was the first speaker of the Lok Sabha of India? So it is very easy. G.V. Mavlankar. I think yes. A bill is deemed to be a money bill as per Article 110 if it contains provisions dealing with the matters relating to what? Regulation of borrowings of the Government of India? Yes. Custody of Consolidated Fund of India? Yes. Audit of accounts of a state? Yes. So I think all the above should be the correct option. Political parties in India are registered and recognized by which of the following? So I think the Election Commission of India, very basic question. How many items are included in the 11th schedule of the Constitution? So I think 29 subjects are there in 11th schedule of the Constitution. I think yes, that should be the answer. Please let me know in the comment section what should be the right answer. In India, National Panchayati Raj Day is celebrated on. So I think it is 24th of April. Yes. Now, which one of the following article in the Indian Constitution prescribes the qualifications for appointing a person as a governor of a state? So, my dear friends, this will be the question for you. So, let me know what should be the right answer for these questions. So, this was all about the objective questions in the Indian Constitution and polity section. Now, we move towards the subjective questions. So see what type of subjective questions were asked in the Indian polity and constitution section. So the first question was fundamental rights in India are overstressed while fundamental duties are underemphasized. Do you agree? Give reasons to support your answer. Okay. So I will read out the question once again. Fundamental rights in India are overstressed while fundamental duties are underemphasized. Do you agree? Give reasons to support your answers. So you should know that fundamental. So basically, these questions ask you to give your view that whether fundamental right is important to us or fundamental duties is important to us, or what do you think that in India is fundamental rights are more stretched than fundamental duties? In my opinion, yes, this statement is absolutely true because most of us know about our fundamental rights, but we don't know about our fundamental duties. And that aspect only these questions ask you to highlight that what do you think. Okay. The next question was examine the powers and functions of Indian prime ministers, especially in the post of liberalization era. Next question was 73rd and 74th constitutional amendments have infused life in the working of rural and urban local government institutions. Discuss critically. Okay, so you have to discuss here about the 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, that is about the Panchayati Raj and the municipalities. So you have to critically analyze what is what is the significance of this amendment. Okay, the next question was write the notes on the following: the concept of public interest litigation, right to equality guaranteed in the Constitution. So you have seen that there are basically four subjective type questions. Out of these four subjective type questions, you have to answer only two questions. Each carries 40 marks. Now we will go into section B. Section B consists of public administration and good governance. See here you can see the 10 objective type questions. Then we will have four subjective type questions. Okay. So I am not going into the detail of these questions. We will discuss in some other video about all the mains question papers in detail. Okay. So now we will go into paper 5. Paper 5 is the paper of Indian economy, globalization and sustainable development. So this question paper consists of two sections. Okay, one objective section and one your subjective section. So this question paper have basically four subsections. Okay, I will show you the subsections here. See, one is basic features of Indian economy. Second is sustainable development, economic issues and Indian development. Third is economic reforms, nature and impact on Indian economy. And fourth is economy of Jharkhand, features, issues, challenges and strategies. So this question paper has four subsections, and from each subsection there will be two subjective questions, out of which you have to answer one question from each section. And also it will also consist of 20 objective type questions, 6 from first section, 6 from second subsection, 4 from third subsection and 4 from fourth subsection. Okay, now let's go into the detail of each topics. See, Group A subsection consists of basic features of Indian economy. It consists of the topics like national income, elementary concepts of national income and methods of calculation like GDP, GNP, NDP, NNP, GSDP, NSDP, TDP at constant and current prices at factor cost, etc. Okay, inflation concept, control of inflation, monetary, fiscal and direct measures, demographic features, workforce composition, demographic dividend with special reference to census of 2011, national population policy, agriculture and rural economy, importance of agriculture in national economy, agricultural growth in India, production and productivity, causes of low productivity and measures taken by government to improve agricultural production, green revolution, evergreen revolution and rainbow revolution, WTO and agriculture, marketing and pricing of agricultural inputs and outputs, industrial economy, policy, initiative and charges, public finance, public expenditure, budget, concept of budget, principles of budgeting, type of budgeting, performance based, zero based, FRMD, fiscal policy, concept and role of fiscal policy in achieving employment, stability and economic development, center-state fiscal relationship, structure of Indian monetary and banking system in India, composition and direction of India's trade, balance of payment problem. So basic economy it is asking, so you can refer to any of the books. You can refer to NCRTs first, and after that you can read any of the reference book like Sanjeev Verma, and many other books are there. But I think Sanjeev Verma is a very precise and very small book, so it is also very well written, and psychologically also reading this book helps us because it is very thin book, no, so it helps you to prepare mentally also about the economic syllabus. Now, the next topic is Group B. Group B consists of sustainable development, economic issues, and Indian development strategy, meaning and measurement of economic development, characteristics of underdevelopment. Then we have indicators of development, HDI, GDI, GEM, India's HDI progress, role of foreign capital and technology in growth of economy, sustainable development, its concepts, indicators of sustainable development, economic, social, environmental sustainability, concept of green GDP, strategy and policy for sustainable development in India, meaning of inclusive growth and development of policy and strategy during 11th and 12th 5-year plans, development status and issues pertaining to socially and economically marginalized sections like STs, SCs, religious minorities, backward caste, and women, schemes launched for their development by central state governments, including TSP, SCSP, and minorities, poverty and unemployment, measurements and trends, identification of BPL families, HPI, multidimensional Indian poverty index, food and nutritional security, then governmental policies for food and nutritional security, planning and strategy, objective and strategy of 5-year plans, functions and role of NDC, that is National Development Commission, then Planning Commission, decentralized planning, meaning and importance, PRIS, that is Panchayati Raj, and decentralized planning major initiatives in India. Then Group C or subsection 3 consists of economic reforms, nature and impact on Indian economy, that is new economic reforms, LPG reforms, rationale and need for reforms, international financial institutions like IMF, World Bank, WTO, their role and impact on Indian economy, then financial and banking sector reforms, economic reforms, rural banking impact on rural credit, sources and problems of rural credit, institutional credit, SSG, microfinance, NABARD, RRB, scheduled commercial banks, rural cooperatives, financial inclusion, then globalization of Indian economy, its positive and negative impacts on different sectors, issues of FDI and FIIs in India. Okay. Then we have agricultural sector reforms and its impact on growth, issues of subsidies and public investment on agriculture reforms and agrarian crisis. We also have industrial development and economic reforms in India, major changes in industrial policy, its impact on industrial growth and problems of SMEs, that is small and micro enterprises, role of public sector enterprises in India's industrialization in the post-reforms period, disinvestment and privatization of public enterprises. Then subsection 4 consists of economy of Jharkhand, its features, issues, challenges and strategies. So these are the topics related to economy of Jharkhand. The topics mentioned here are, see, economic growth and structure of Jharkhand's economy, sectoral composition, growth in SDP, per capita NSDP in last decade, agricultural and industrial growth in Jharkhand, demographic features of Jharkhand, its population growth, sex ratio, density, literacy, composition of workforce, rural urban composition, etc., with special reference to census 2001 and 2011, inter-district variations. Now, status of poverty, unemployment, food security, malnutrition, education, and health indicators in Jharkhand, major initiatives, issues of agricultural and rural development, major programs and schemes, poverty alleviation programs, like Pura, Bharat Nirman, Manrega, Pradhan Mantri, it is Gram Sadak Yojana, then SGSY, है ना, State Gram Swaraj Yojana, JAY, NRLM, I think National Rural Livelihood Mission, then food security schemes. We have land, forest and environmental issues in Jharkhand, land reforms and agrarian relations, tribal land alienation, development induced displacement of people, its impact and policy initiatives, forest issues and implementation of Forest Rights Act, environmental degradation and state policy to deal with it. 5-year plans in Jharkhand and strategy and achievement in 10th and 11th plan, TSP and SCSP, public finance trends in Jharkhand, industrial policy in Jharkhand, and industrial development. So these are the topics mentioned in your fourth section, subsection, sorry. So here you can see there are a lot of topics in paper 5 which we have to cover, but if you cover these topics under major themes like economic growth and structure of Jharkhand's economy, if you prepare a good answer of 2 to 3 pages, all these sections will be included in that answer only. Okay, so likewise you have to make your answers like so that each of the topics which are mentioned under this heading should get covered, and this will make your answer also very easy. How? See, if you are writing any answer about economic growth and structure of Jharkhand's economy, you should include sections like its sectoral composition, like primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector. Then you can write about growth in each of the sectors, contribution of each of the sectors in employment as well as in GSDP, okay, in the last decade, then agriculture and industrial growth under each sections. So major theme of the answer is given to you, as well as the subtopics that they want under that theme, it is also given to you, and taking help of this major theme as well as its subtopic, you have to frame a good answer from each of the topics mentioned, and from that only you will get questions in the examination. No question will be asked to you apart from these sections, that I can guarantee you. Okay, now let's see the paper 5 of JPSC sixth mains examination. So here you can see the sixth paper was the sixth JPSC question, paper number 5 is Indian economy, globalization and sustainable development. I have explained you the scheme of examination for this, that is it will have two sections only, one objective type question and other subjective type questions. It will have 20 objective type questions, that is 6 from subsection A, 6 from subsection B, 4 from subsection C and 4 from subsection D. And from the subjective type questions, there are 4 subsections, so 2 subjective type questions will be asked from each subsection, and you have to answer one subjective type question from each subsection. That is, you have to answer total 4 subjective type questions, each question of 40 marks, total 160 marks. Okay, the rest 40 marks is from the objective type questions, so total the weightage of the paper is 200 marks. So see what type of questions it is asking. If we will see one or two questions, let's see. RBI can restrict credit creation by commercial banks by increasing the bank rate. So if RBI increases the bank rate, what will happen? Tell me, if RBI increases the bank rate, the loan amount which the interest that the bank charges on loan given to the customers, it will increase, no? So it will restrict the credit creation by commercial banks. So yes, it will restrict the credit creation by commercial banks. So first option should be correct. So 1, you can see here 1 and 2 and 1 and 4. So B and C, they are the wrong options. So we can eliminate this two options B and C. So now we have to finalized between 2 and 4. So 2, selling government securities to the banks. If RBI sells government securities to the bank will have to pay cash to the RBI, so it will have less cash with itself to give it to the customers. So obviously it will restrict credit creation by commercial banks. No. So this is also your right answer. So 2 is the right option. So and A is the right option for this question. Now let's see the fourth option. Fourth option is rediscounting more bills. Rediscounting more bills. So if RBI rediscounts more bill, the money flow in the market, it will increase, it will not get restricted. So fourth option here, it is wrong option. First and second is the right option. So the answer for this question should be A. Now we will go to the next question, that inflation is due to demand for higher incomes, rising demand not accompanied by rising supply, structural imbalances in the economy. So I think all the three options are right. They all are the reasons for increase in inflation, or the reason for the inflation. Demand for higher incomes, yes, obviously if we demand higher incomes, the we will get more and we will get more salary. If we get more salary, we will have more money in our hands, so we will spend more money in the market. But the supply of goods is limited, so for each good people will be able to spend more money. So ultimately what will happen, the price of that good will get increased. So yes, it will lead to inflation. Then rising demand not accompanied by rising supply. In the A option only we have seen this reason, that if the demand rises but the supply of good is not increased, what will happen? That I will say that I have 10 rupees, he will say that he has 11 rupees, he will pay 11 rupees, and somebody else comes and he will say no, I will pay 15 rupees. The cost of the products that increased to 15 rupees. So if demand gets increased and supply doesn't increase, then inflation will ultimately increase, or it will lead to creation of inflation. Yes. Then structural imbalances in the economy, it will also lead to inflation. So the answer should be D option. So this type of very basic questions they ask you in the mains objective type questions only. What among the following forms the largest component of GDP? So give me the answer of this question in the comment section, and rest you download this question paper from JPSC official website and try to solve that before starting your preparations, because if you have a basic idea of what type of questions they are asking in the examination, it will be very good for you to limit yourself to a particular section. You know, it is if you know that what, it is very important for you to know what you don't have to study rather than what you have to study, because the syllabus is very wide and it should be clear that what portion you should ignore and what portion you should cover. So please go through the question paper once before starting your preparations. Okay. Now the next section is of subjective type questions. Okay. So here you can see that there are 4 subsections, and from each subsection there are 2 questions, and from these 2 questions you just have to answer one question. So total you have to answer 4 questions. Got it? I think yes. Now you have got it. See, what was the question? Discuss in detail the recent changes in composition and direction of India's foreign trade. Discuss in detail the impact of WTO in Indian agriculture. And this topic was mentioned in your syllabus. No, WTO and Indian agriculture. So see, they are not asking any question from outside the syllabus or like UPSC, which where it is asked very analytical type of question. They ask the questions which are very straightforward, and it will be very easy for you if you prepare 2 to 3 pages on every topic that is mentioned in the JPSC mains syllabus. Okay, so that is my advice to you, and it will definitely help you. So section 3 also you see what type of question they asked you. They asked you discuss various provisions in the latest National Food Security Act. Show that the act may reduce insecurity among the low income people. So National Food Security as was mentioned in your syllabus, and that's why they have asked it. Inclusion is measured. How inclusion is measured? Okay. The multidimensional poverty index they have mentioned. They have mentioned different types of indices. So there you have to analyze what is inclusion. Do Indian data show economic inclusion in employment and primary secondary education? So these are very basic questions, and if you are reading, I think apart from books, if you are reading the newspapers, no, that is more than enough to write this type of questions, because every other day you can find a good editorial on this type of topics. Then the last subsection was in the light of parameters used for assessing economic reforms, critically examine its impact on Indian economy or examine the defects of agricultural marketing in India. See, APMC Act was there in your syllabus. So you have to prepare from for the APMC Act, its merits, its demerits, and everything. Okay, you also have to prepare that what are the laggards for the APMC Acts, what are the main bottlenecks for the implementation of the APMC Act, is APMC Act good or bad, and now government has come up with ENAM, government has come up with open market. So these all things you should prepare. Then we also have discussed the present industrial policy of Jharkhand government. So section 5, as we have seen, that it is about the economy of Jharkhand, and this topic was mentioned that different policies of Jharkhand you have to study for the prelim syllabus as well as for the main syllabus. That is, there are several policies like rehabilitation and resettlement policy is there, your film policy is there, tourism policy is there, export policies, there are different policies you have to study. Okay, so this was all about paper 5. Now we will go into the last paper, that is paper 6. So let me go to paper 6. Yeah, paper 6 is general science, environment and technology development paper. This paper consists of two sections, that is objective type questions will be there and subjective type questions will be there. Okay, it has four subsections. Sorry, yes, it has four. No, it has five subsections. Sorry, it has five subsections. Okay, and you will be asked four objective type questions from each subsection and five subjective type questions from each subsections. That is two questions from each subsection, and you have to answer five questions. That is one question from each subsection. Each subjective type question will carry 32 marks, so total of 160 marks. Okay, and objective type questions it will have 40 marks. So let us see what are the subsections in this paper. So subsection 1 is about physical science, very easy, system of units, MKS, CGS and SI units. You have to study definition of speed, velocity, gravity, mass, weight, force, impact, work, power and energy, solar system, relative position of earth with respect to sun and other planets, movement of earth and moon in the solar system, lunar and solar eclipses, concept and nature of sound, wavelength and frequency, infrasonic, ultrasonic sounds. sources of infrasonic sound in nature, ultrasonic sound, characteristics and some applications. Group B, it's from biology section, that is life science section, the living world, cell structure and its function, diversity of organism, biomolecules, its structures and function of carbohydrate, proteins, fats, vitamins, deficiency diseases, enzymes, hormones, plant hormones and growth regulation, animal hormones and their function, cell reproduction, cell cycle, mitosis and meiosis, Mendelian inheritance, theories of evolution of life on Earth, including human evolution. Then third subsection is about agriculture science. So here majorly you have to read about the agriculture of Jharkhand. That is mainly you have to read here. Okay. And group D, it consists of environmental science. Okay, environmental science you have to study. The topics here mentioned here are concept of ecosystem, structure and function of ecosystem, natural resources, renewable, non-renewable. Very easy topics. Okay. Then different types of environmental laws, the Environment Protection Act, the Air Prevention and Control Pollution Act, the Water Prevention and Control Pollution Act, Forest Conservation Act. So very basic environment questions they are asking. I will show you the questions also, which was asked in 2016 mains syllabus, mains question paper. Now group E is science and technology development, national policy on science and technology, energy demand of the country, conventional and non-conventional sources of energy, nuclear energy, its merits, demerits, trends in nuclear energy, NPT, CTBT, that is non-proliferation treaty and comprehensive test ban treaty, space technology, Indian space programs, application of satellites for different purposes, Indian missile program, remote sensing, GIS and application in weather forecasting, disaster warning, mapping of earth, soil and mineral resources, etc., biotechnology, okay, information technology, national health policy, national programs for prevention and control of malaria, leprosy, TB, cancer, AIDS, blindness, etc. So very basic topics. You just have to pick up each and every topic. Just make a note on each and every topic, and that is more than sufficient for you. If you are not believing me, now come to the question, and after seeing the question, everything will be clear. So see, in the objective type questions, what they are asking, very basic questions. Sound of frequency below 20 hertz, what it is called, tell me. Infrasonic, obviously, because below 20 hertz it is infrasonic. 20 to 20,000 hertz is audible range, above 20,000 hertz it is your ultrasonic. And tell me what is the range of supersonic, tell me in the comment section. Then second question again from the physics, I think. A body is lifted from the ground onto a table by you. The amount of work performed in the process not depends upon. So my advice to you that while answering questions, you should be very clear. Okay, that not, see here they are asking not depends upon. So not depends upon, we know that work done is equal to force into displacement. Okay, so the path along which you lifted the body, so its answer should be your A, because see it is dependent on displacement but it does not depend on distance. Okay, so answer should be A. Similarly, the orbit of revolution of the earth around the sun is what? Elliptical. When a conservative force does positive work on a body, its potential energy. What will happen to the potential energy? Tell me. Tell me in the comment section. And I want you to answer me. Okay. Then father of genetics is Mendel. Then stages of proper sequence in prophase 1, hemophilia. The organelle is called as powerhouse of the cell. What it is? Mitochondria. Yes, it is mitochondria. The major nutrients for the plants are obviously NPK. And the 10th one is uses of neem as a timber, as a medicine, as a fertilizer. Yes, for all the three purposes. So answer should be all the above. So you can see very basic questions. So there are total 20 questions of objective type. Okay, now let's see what type of subjective questions they are asking you. So here you can see, what are infrasonic and ultrasonic sounds, name the sources of infrasonic sound in nature, describe the characteristics and applications of ultrasonic sound. So this topic was mentioned in your syllabus and they have just asked from that topic. So they will ask you again and again. I am telling you that they will ask you very basic questions. Only the topics which are mentioned in the syllabus, just make 2-3 page note of that, and that is more than sufficient for your mains examination. I am telling you guys. Okay. Now, what do you understand by sex-linked inheritance? Illustrate with suitable examples. Name 4 important hormones of pituitary gland. Discuss their functions. And yes, don't you worry that from where we will cover these topics. I will cover each and every topic on this channel. Just be with me. Be with me. Have patience. We will cover each and every topic. Okay. Explain in brief the salient features of Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Very easy question. What is solid waste management? Write causes, effects and control methods of urban and industrial waste. Explain the evidences and causes of climate change. Now what is global energy crisis? Give a detailed account of alternative source of energy. Define cancer. Give an account of various kind of cancers. Mention a list of carcinogens. What are carcinogens? The objects which cause cancers. They are known as carcinogens. So very easy questions, very what pinpoint to the syllabus. They don't ask you any question outside the syllabus again and again. I am repeating. Okay, so don't dwell into this note or that book or this book. Just stick to the syllabus. If you are not getting notes related to any topic in any of the books, just google it, write 2 or 3 pages about it. If you are finding any good diagram, just draw down in your note, and that will highlight your answer, that will give an edge to your answer over the other candidates. Okay, so that was all from my side for the analysis of pre and main syllabus. Hope you liked each and every analysis of pre and mains syllabus, and from the next lecture we will start Jharkhand's art and culture topic in this channel. So my dear friends, follow me on this YouTube channel. Please subscribe, please share with your friend. Till then, have a nice day. Thank you.